Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 14 of the card making countdown, where I've been sharing 14 new card making ideas to make with your Cricut over 14 days. We've sadly come to the last day of the countdown, but don't worry because today's project is extra special to make up for it being the last day. Today we're making these beautiful handbag and satchel cards. They fold flat to go in an envelope, and the tented base means they're freestanding when they come out. Your message goes on the back, and then on the front, the flap of the handbag or the satchel lifts off to reveal a gift card inside. The mechanism pulls up as you lift the satchel, so it will be really obvious when someone opens it up that there's a gift card inside. It's a lovely way to give a card and a gift all as one. Let's get started. This project is part of the 2026 Card Making Countdown. Download the cut files for free for the first 24 hours after this video goes live using the links in the video description or by visiting craftwithsarah.com/cards26. After 24 hours, the cut files for this project can be purchased from craftwithsarah.com/cards26 files. Or get the entire card making countdown plus loads of extra bonus files from craftwithsarah.com/cards26 bundle. The download comes in a zip folder. You need to unzip this before uploading the SVG files into your cutting machine software. For instructions on how to do this, visit craftwithsarah.com/help and choose Cricut, Silhouette or Scan and Cut. Within there are dedicated help guides on topics such as how to upload SVGs, how to modify them to make custom projects, framing tips, and how to cut cardstock with your type of machine. If you have any questions, email hello@craftwithsarah.com. Now, on with today's project. Here's an example of what one of the handbag or satchel cards looks like loaded into Design Space. I'm going to follow the tutorial through for this design, which is the handbag version with the cutout details, not the one with all the pattern papers, but it works the same for all of the other cards, including the satchel versions. First up, check the size of the designs loaded in at what appears in the green box along the top of the screen. This may be different for different versions of the cards, so make sure you check the numbers for each. This one should be 15 by 18 inches, and I can see when I click size, mine is 15 by 18, so that is correct. If yours is different, change it to match the measurements in the green box. Next, ungroup the layers by pressing the Ungroup button at the top of the Layers panel. Click into the top layer, which is that green rectangle, and delete it. If you want to, you can change the colours of your handbag or satchel card by clicking on the layers and going into the colour box here and changing them around. The white rectangle is to write your message on, and that goes on the back of the card. There are some layers on here that we need to add score lines to. First up, we'll do this piece on the top left. When you click it, you'll notice it highlights a group in the Layers panel. Click the chevron icon next to it, and within there you'll see two layers. Click on the top one, which looks like a series of horizontal lines. In the Operations drop-down, change it to Score. Then click the title of the group to select both of those layers and press Attach. Attach is what tells the Cricut where to do the scoring. Then go down underneath, and now we'll click the base of the bag. Do the same thing, click into the group, click the top layer within it, change it to Score, click to select that whole group and attach. And then finally this bit at the bottom, which is what holds the gift card, open the group, click the top layer, change it to Score, select the whole group and attach. And that's all we need to change, so this would now be ready to cut out. If you're doing the handbag or satchel card with the pattern paper layers, you'll see a bright green and a bright pink layer. That's to indicate that those are the pieces you should cut out with your patterned or scrapbook paper. When you're happy with how everything is looking, connect to your machine up here and then press Make, and that will separate out all of the colours for you. You can change the paper size in the drop down here, and if you want to, you can then click and drag to move things about to take up less space on your cardstock. Just make sure when you're moving that nothing overlaps, otherwise it won't cut out properly. When you're happy with how all of your colours are looking, press Continue and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut from cardstock. I recommend using a fairly sturdy card for the base pieces so that your handbag is strong enough to stand up by itself. Here are all the pieces of my handbag card cut out and ready to go together. I'll be gluing this together with Burley Art Glue, but I also like Collal. The reason I like these two glues is they don't bend or wrinkle the card like some glues can do. You could also use double-sided tape, but I find glue gives a little bit of a stronger and more reliable hold. We'll start by doing some of the general gluing for the project before we then put everything together. First up, take your message panel and glue that onto the border bit behind. Then, if you're doing the handbag version of the card, you've got two little ovals. Glue the smaller one into the middle of the bigger one. It's very small. Let's hold it up a bit better so you can see. There we go. That's what makes the kind of clasp effect decoration on the front. If you're making the satchel card, at this point you can glue these bits together. So it's a little strip of the darker brown and then the buckles to go on top. If you're doing one of the designs that's the pattern paper version, you can glue your pattern paper to the backing bits underneath. So that's the bit here and then also the bit here. Take the back piece of your card and then find the handle bit that's got the two little rounded edges. The other side of the handle has straight edges on. This will be the back of the card, so we can put our message panel on there and then glue the handle part on top. If you're doing the satchel card, it's very similar. You've got a plainer bit to go there and one of the buckles and then the message panel. Smudged out my glue a little bit there, so I'm neatening it up a bit with my fingers. Okay, that's the back bit. Then turn it over and glue the other side of the handle decoration to the front bit. Then that's the decorations done. Now we can start on the structure of the card. This is the piece that will hold the gift card. It's got a score line down here, along there, down there, and then two down there. So we'll fold this round. I've used textured card, which makes it really hard to see the score lines. Hold it around there so it's sort of straight, and then the tabs fold away from you, and these will be glued to the back. So we're sort of making almost like a little half envelope where the tabs will tuck around and be glued onto the back, and then there's a pocket on the front for your gift card to slide into. I'll turn that over. Add glue down the longer tab to start with. Well, it doesn't actually really matter. You could do it either or. And fold over. And then you'll probably have to hold this in place until the glue is dry, because you can sort of see as I let go it's trying to come off. And we need it to stay very well stuck. So I'm going to keep my fingers on there for a while. I can hold that down and do this tab at the same time. Okay, that's now all glued and not going anywhere. We'll leave the tabs on the top until we're ready to put that in the card. Next, take the main structure piece, which is this one. It will have a little slit cut out along the front. The slit position is different depending on if you're doing the handbag card or the satchel card. And I'm holding it upside down. It should be this way round with the tabs at the bottom. We've got lots of score lines down here. We'll start on the left side, and the first score line fold away from you so that you bring it down to make a mountain fold, so it looks like the peak of a mountain. Then the next one, fold it the opposite way round so the fold is at the bottom, known as a valley fold. We're making a concertina shape as we go. Then the final one, this is another mountain fold with the point coming up towards you. So it should all concertina in like that to be flat, and then when it comes out, you've ended up with this shape along the side. Repeat this on the other one. So first up, fold the point so that it's coming up towards you. Then fold the other one away from you, valley fold. And then the top of the last one comes up towards you, which is a mountain fold. And then check it all goes in nice and flat. Then the same thing along the bottom. First one, the point comes up towards you. Oh, because I've used texture card, this is going to be a little bit hard to fold because it's a long score line. So I'm just starting it off the wrong way to make it a bit easier. There we go. Now that's the right way. So it's matching what we did on the sides. And then the next one will come up like that. So it's a valley fold. And then this one will be a mountain fold, the last one. Okay. And then once again, check it all folds in nice and flat. This is what we've got now with all those sides folded. Next, take your main back piece. This is the one with the slits in it. And again, it's got score lines down it. So what we're going to do is find the score line closest to the top, which is down here. And that one will be mountain folded, so the point is coming up towards us. But again, I'm going to start it the wrong way round, just because I've used texture card and I can't really see it very well the other way. So that's going that way. That's the correct way round. The next one is a valley fold. And then the final one, just above the slits, is another mountain fold. Once again, I'm just going to start it the wrong way so that I can see the score line better. And then go the correct way. And then this one will get pushed in so that the middle fold goes down. And then the other two press up against each other and it will all fold flat. You may wish to go down it with a brayer tool, a scraper tool or similar, and you could do the same on those folds too if you want to. So you ended up with this along the top. This is how it looks from the front and how it looks from the side. Open up the top and pull it out so it's fairly flat. There are two very small slits in this part of the card. I can't really see mine because of the colour of it. I don't think it cut all the way through, but so that you can sort of see a bit better what I'm doing in the video. One's there and one's there. So you'll have two tiny little cut lines in there. You don't see them once the next bit's stuck on, so if you do need to make them a little bit darker with a pen like I've just done, then you can do that. That's your guide to show where to put the top of this as it goes in, because it can get a little bit wonky as you stick it in because it will try and move under all of those folds. We'll be gluing this part in, lining it up along the bottom and then lining the top edge up so that it's in line with those two little cuts. I'll turn this over and add glue to the top of all these tabs. Then the bottom bit lines up right along the bottom of the other piece, as straight as you can make it. Try not to overlap the bottom piece at all. I've lined that up. It's hard to show, right along the bottom. And then the sides line up with the sides of this piece, but don't pull them above your little marker lines. They will want to naturally slide above that, but you want to make sure they don't. And keep pulling it so that it lines up with the edge. So that one, I've got it lined up along the edge there, and my little pen line is just here. And I need to do the same on the other side. I'm not sure you'll be able to see, but the edge of this side tab is going slightly over the edge of the bottom one inside the card, and that is okay. That's what we want. Just make sure you line it up with those little slits on the sides, and then it will all fold down flat for when you put it in your envelope. Next up, we'll put the gift card holder inside. So that will slot through the holes in the front. It's easiest to sort of put it inside your inner bit now and then slide the holes through. Like that. And then it's got the two little score lines on it. So find them and fold down. Probably would have been easier to do that little fold before I put the card in, but never mind. Then open it up, glue down as far as those fold lines but no further, and then line it up so that the fold line matches the crease along the top here. It doesn't always want to stay in position. You may need to hold it down, and that one as well. Open it up a bit while the glue is still dry and make sure everything is nice and straight in there. Mine needs to come that way a little bit. And then keep an eye on it while the glue dries in case they try and pop off. You can then glue your decorations to the front. For this version of the card, it's this piece here. It will line up along the top so that you see a bit of that darker colour at the bottom. If you're doing the satchel card, then it's these bits and this bit along the top. If you're doing the pattern paper version, there's pattern paper to go there. And on the pattern paper of the handbag, we've got this bit that goes on the front. Then glue your clasp. Then we can open it up, and if you're doing one of the pattern paper versions, you've got some extra bits to go here. Make sure you're very careful at lining up the slit. This is a bit of an older prototype, so my slit is really small on here. Yours will be big to match this one. But you want to make sure that it comes all the way out so everything lines up, so that all of your slits in here all line up, so that when you slot the top bit over, it holds it closed. For this version and the plain satchel version, there isn't anything else to go on there, so you wouldn't have anything to put on. But for the pattern paper versions, you've got that pattern to go there. Then you've got an inner bit which looks like this, which has got a slit on it. The slit will be slightly differently placed if you're doing the satchel card. And this goes on the back of the top. Line it up. So it will go there, and then that bit will slide over that bit, and that's how it all closes up. But be very careful, don't add any glue on the bit that actually needs to fold, otherwise it won't work. I've done a big semicircle around there. Line that up and glue down. We'll close it up in a minute, but let's do the last bit, which is to turn it over and add the handle piece on the back. So that'll go like that. Don't put any glue into the handle part, obviously, because you've already made it double-sided. Just this big rectangle. There we are, that's our lovely little handbag card. So then you can add in your gift card. And then to close it, you may need to put your fingers in the first time and just bend that bit out ever so slightly so there's a bigger hole. Then it will go, slide in there to hold itself shut, and then it will fold up flat. You might need to squidge it around the first time, but it folds flat, all those sides squidge in, and then it's nice and easy to open and close to bring out that gift card. You've got your message on the back, and it's freestanding. This would go nicely in either an envelope if you squidge it down, or a presentation box. Free SVGs and tutorials for both of those, including how to size them to perfectly fit this card, are included in the Foundation Learning section of the Craft Countdown. To find that, go to the schedule page and look near the top of the page for the Foundation Learning part. A link is also included in the written version of this tutorial, which again you can find in the description of this video. Although it does go together in a very similar way to the handbag card, I thought it would be helpful to also show putting together the satchel card version. So this comes in the plain one here and also one with pattern papers, and I've cut this in really bright colours to match in with my patterns. This will also be helpful, I think, if you're doing the pattern paper version of the handbag card, which looks like this, so that you can see how to line up all of the slits on the bottom piece. I've already done all the basic gluing for this, so I've got my buckles glued onto these pieces, I've glued the gift card holder, and I've glued all my pattern papers onto their backs. When you do the bottom bit, make sure all of your semicircles line up nicely, so that's going to act as the holder for the card. And then here's my back piece with my message panel and the decorations along the top. On this card, because it's not textured, you can see those slits a lot easier. Actually, well, I can see them really well in real life. You might not be able to see them very well on the video. So once again, like I did on the last one, I'll just go over them with pen so you can see them that little bit easier. The folding is exactly the same as it was for the handbag card. So check out that part of the video if you haven't already seen it. I've done the concertina folds for the front bit exactly like before. So let's start with this one. Okay, turn it around. And then the score line closest to this edge or closest to your two little slits on the sides. This one is a mountain fold. Then the next one, the middle one, is a valley fold. This is a very thick card. And then the final one, just below the handle slits, is another mountain fold. And then we'll get this folding round. This card is probably a little thick. We'll get there. There we go. So that it folds in flat like that. And that's what we've ended up with on the side. Glue this bit inside. So turn it over. Get all those tabs showing. And add the glue to the top. Do the bottom line first and glue it along the bottom of the card. And then the two sides, line them up with the side of the main piece and make sure they don't go above your little slits in the base. I actually drew the wrong side. I should have drawn the other side. They should have drawn this side. Let's do that a minute so you can see. It doesn't matter because the back will be covered up by the message panel. There we go. So these are the little lines. I'm not going up any further than with the side bits. The reason that we're lining it up with those little notches is because if it's too high up, it won't close properly, and if it's too far down, it won't fold in and concertina properly. So the positioning is quite important when you're putting these side bits on. That's them. Check it all goes down and folds flat, which it does. Next up, we'll put this one in, and I'll learn from my mistake on the handbag card and fold those tabs down first. Slide it in and then thread the two tabs through the holes. Add glue up to those score lines and then tuck it round so that the score line lines up with the edge of the slit and pull it over. Open it up, check you're happy that that's nice and straight. We've got a nice gap here. Then the decorations can be added. First up is the bit that matches the whole shape, and that covers up those tabs. Then if you're doing the plain one, you've got the strip along the top and the two buckles. For the pattern paper one, we've got this shape to go on the top. It goes on so you've got an even border of that base piece around all the sides, and then the 2 buckles to glue on. Open it up, and if you're doing the pattern paper one, there's decorations to go here, which is this one. Make sure your semicircles line up exactly with this one. You may want to pop it out a little bit to help see where it goes. So it will slot over like that so that they all line up exactly. And you want to add some glue to the top to make sure this bit glues onto the back of here. Otherwise it all kind of catches a bit when you try and open and close the card. And I've just glued that way too close to the edge without thinking about it. I should have put the glue on the back of here. I think you're going to see that glue now. Oops. Hopefully that won't be so noticeable. That way around. Line up the semicircles, that's the most important bit. Hold them in tight. They're all nicely lined up. And then the rest of it. Okay, you can't actually see my glue marks where I put it too close to the edge, so that's good. You might find that this bit tries to pop off until the glue is dry. So hold it down nice and flat. Then we've got the other side of the semicircle to go on the back here. It is quite close to the edge, so be careful that you don't accidentally tear it and rip it off, otherwise your card won't close. And it goes with the semicircle closer to the right so that it lines up with that one. So I'm gluing this side. This time don't put any glue on the semicircle. Add your gift card, and then that will tuck in and close. Then we've just got the handle to go on the back. I'm going to learn from my mistake. Add my glue on here. And there's my satchel version of the card all finished. I love how that looks with all the papers. It's so fun. We've got a more traditional one and then a fun one with all those details. And just like the handbag card, it is freestanding and it folds flat to go in an envelope or a presentation box. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to make these handbag and satchel cards with your Cricut machine. That means the card making countdown is now over, but I'd love to know what you thought of all the projects that I've shared with you over the last 2 weeks. Drop a comment below the YouTube video on which was your favourite project and let me know if you've made any of them as the weeks have gone on. Our next craft countdown will be a little bit later in the year, which will be our Halloween craft countdown. Registration will open at the end of August and the Halloween countdown will run for 20 days in September from the 11th to the 30th. But don't worry, I know that's a long way to wait. I've got lots more free SVGs, tutorials and lots of other awesome stuff all prepared and ready to come out over the next couple of months. If there's something in particular you'd like to see, again, leave me a comment and let me know. I love to get your suggestions. I really hope you've had fun over the past 14 days, but sadly that is it, so I'm going to say bye for now. Thank you again for watching and I'll be back very soon. Bye!